Hi, everyone. Bill Rensselaer in the 1011 Now streaming studio. It is Monday, and that means it is Better Business Bureau Day. Excited to hang out with Josh Planos from the Better Business Bureau. We're talking local scams, things that consumers need to know about, which, again, it's late October. It's almost Halloween. That means it's almost Thanksgiving. That means it's almost Christmas. There's a lot that people need to know about, Josh.
Slow down, Bell. My
I know.
goodness, I just need to be able
I
to get my
know.
arms around Halloween this week. But yes, consumer-related expenses and conversations are at the top of everyone's to-do list, it seems.
It absolutely is. Again, Halloween just a couple days away. Price of candy kind of feels like it's getting up there, Josh. Especially those big bags of like 120 pieces of candy. That'll run you a good $25.
So this is my first Halloween in a new neighborhood, and so I have no idea
Ooh,
the quantity of candy because we can't be the house that closes down at
runs
8 p.m.
out.
Right? So I think we're going to overspend this year and just hope that we can find a great second home for that candy, assuming that we overshoot the mark by a considerable margin.
I did my kids' trunk or treat on this last Friday, and they told me to plan for 600, and so I purchased. The station purchased 735 pieces of candy. And I think we did pretty good because we maybe had 50 or 60 pieces left, and I think a lot of those were just the really itty bitty bite-sized Snickers pieces. Those didn't go very fast.
Well, good, and that's exceptional when it works out exactly the way you
Right,
want it to. It really
right.
makes the experience feel twice as good. So
So are you going to do full size candy bars at the Planos household, or are you just going to do regular size candy bars?
we will do the regular this year with leaving room for improvement in future years.
There you go. There you go. All right. Well, Josh, usually when we hang out, we kind of have one kind of maybe overarching theme that we want to talk about. Today, kind of a little bit different. You kind of hit me with the email this morning. We're going to talk about a couple different things. So I'll give the floor to you as to which one you kind of want to start with here over the next couple minutes.
Sure. Well, there is an event this evening, so we can start with the cryptocurrency kiosks.
Mm.
Lincoln City Council, I believe, is voting tonight on an ordinance that would give local law enforcement the power to fine businesses that don't display required warning signs on cryptocurrency kiosks. So if you've ever been into a convenience store and you see like a Bitcoin ATM or an ATM that transfers cryptocurrency, this pertains to that device. LB 609 was recently passed in 2025 and was an important consumer protection measure. But really, it's only so effective if the people who own the properties in which these devices are located actually display the placard. The placard provides a lot of helpful information around things like scam prevention. At bare minimum, it allows the person, the user, to know that these kiosks are increasingly used in scams where victims are told to send money. So, warning signage is really helpful, just like it is with gift cards, as has been a mode of payment in a lot of different scam types for many, many years. All we are asking is that these placards slow the person down, provide a little bit of helpful information at the point of no return in a lot of cases. And these are really a last sign of defense. So ideally, this is something that gets pushed forward. There will be an additional ordinance that is up for a vote in Grand Island in the coming weeks, and so I'd encourage people to read into those and to demand a little bit more from those in our community to keep our community that much safer.
Yeah, I would be hard pressed to imagine any reason why this ordinance would get voted down and not pass through either the Lincoln or Grand Island City Council. And I certainly don't want to slander crypto kiosks in general, but I would have to imagine so few people use those for a regular form of a transaction that they almost only solely exist to kind of get people in trouble.
Yeah, and there were times where you smoked cigarettes and there was no warning on the package. There were signs where there really wasn't a whole lot of information about the importance of seat belts. You can think about this as like a seat belt for a consumer, right? If you are providing a little bit of information, provided that they are in a difficult situation, many of the victims that we speak with almost feel like they're in some sort of trance. And many of them come to us after the fact and, of course, say, well, had I known what I know now, I wouldn't have gone through with that experience. Truly, sometimes just having that signage is a necessary step in preventing a colossal loss. We are talking about a mode of payment that is particularly concerning because of how difficult it is for you to ever see that money again. It's almost uniquely designed to not provide a lot of protection for the user. And again, we are just talking about a warning sign and enforcing the use of the warning sign, not discontinuing the service.
And it's something you think of like, is this really an issue? And it absolutely is. I mean, even just here locally in Lincoln, Lancaster County, there's probably been a dozen incidents or more over the course of the last year or so where it is a Bitcoin scam, and folks are going to these kinds of places and sending not just a couple bucks, they're sending a couple thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars.
And just think about it like it's a reassuring message as well in a time of need, right? For a lot of folks, when they experience a scam, they are told to isolate, they are told not to confide in anyone, they are told to follow the steps and to go through the motions and to get to the other side. And if you can see something that shares a little bit of information that maybe provides some comfort, maybe puts you at ease, maybe provides exactly that push that this is not what is you should be asked to be doing on this particular day in this particular moment. There is a real comfort and a real purpose that comes with these placards, right? It is not for show. This is something that actually has been designed to create a prevention mechanism. It's designed to slow that person down and to help them ideally keep some of that money in their pocket.
Hey, Josh, you might be able to help me out here, because I remember the mayor and some local city leaders, they had a press conference on this couple weeks ago talking about this proposed ordinance, and I want to say, and you might remember the numbers, it's maybe about 40, I think, or so, these sorts of kiosks that are located here in Lincoln. Does that number sound right?
It does.
And so,
it does. Yeah, these are widely available, right? This is not something that you stumble upon. And if you think about the amount of money that is transferred from even just a single device, extrapolate that to 40, right? We are talking about a colossal savings if this, again, if it prevents one person from going through a horrific experience. I feel like all of us would sign up for that and co-sign that as a good move on behalf of the consumer, right? And all we are asking is some accountability if you are not enforcing the law that you that was passed that asked you to have the placard in the first place, right? It's really a small adjustment, and it just introduces a bit more accountability for the person who owns the location in which the device is located.
And so this is in front of the Lincoln City Council tonight. You will, with the BBB, will be giving some testimony, and then also Grand Island then next week. Do you know at all? And again, kind of putting you on the spot here. Is there any maybe sort of statewide legislation that's kind of percolating or in the works that kind of surrounds this issue as well?
It is so new. I believe that this is something that is being worked upon, like a lot of things, right? As something gets passed, additional guardrails need to be put in place. Those kind of get forced through as quickly as possible before an overarching correction is made. I believe that something is in the works, but that is also not something that currently we are involved with. So our hope is that we go city by city, local ordinance by local ordinance, and make the changes that way that we can.
100%. And so then pivoting, because we have two local scams that have happened here in Nebraska that we want to talk about. One involving fake ticketing website, which again, you and I have had conversations with before, and then a FNBO impersonation scam. So can you kind of walk me through both of those and what we saw? I know in one, someone kind of stopped before they sent a potential substantial amount of money. And the other one, the person did lose a little bit of money.
Yeah, we'll go with the fake ticketing website first. We had a consumer lose $497 to bestticketfair.com. They tried to buy an Omaha to Portland flight. It was kind of a classic bait and switch type scam where they were told the ticket wasn't actually confirmed on the day they needed it. Many of us are looking to purchase a ticket for exactly that day, at exactly that time. This person thought they were doing just that, but then were later told that they needed to pay triple the price for an actual replacement. If you look up best ticket fare, they are on bbb.org. They have an F rating. They are not BBB accredited. Their site is still active. And this person did dispute the charges through their bank. That is currently pending. But you always want to make sure, again, if you can, book directly with airlines, book directly with verified travel sites. And if a deal seems too good to be true, it probably is. In this case, this person just thought that this was a ticket that they could get at the last second, probably for Thanksgiving. They didn't clarify that, but they said it was an upcoming trip. And they thought that this was the ticket of their dreams, and ultimately became a ticket of their nightmare.
Yeah, again, it's a lot of times when we're moving quickly that some of these things tend to happen. So again, always good to take a breath, take a pause. And then the other one involving a wire department and an impersonation scam. Can you kind of walk us through that one?
Yeah, so this one was pretty sophisticated. This was reported last Thursday. A scammer that was impersonating First National Bank's wire department. They nearly stole $17,000 from someone. They called this person unsolicited. The victim was then tricked into entering their banking credentials through one of those text message links that we all receive, where text me the code. It's dual factor authentication. Please sign into your account and then pass me the code. Luckily, and truly, this is incredibly fortuitous, the call dropped before the scam was completed. So what did the person do? They looked up the real FNBO. They called them, and they stopped the interaction completely, even after the scammer eventually was able to get their phone number and call them again. So this was something that wasn't real. There was not a wire transfer made on behalf of their account. There was not anything that they needed to correct. But truly, for an incredible chance luck, this person had the call drop at precisely the moment they needed to. Ultimately, that person locked down their accounts. They shut off their card, and they are working through FNBO right now. But your bank is never going to ask you to click links in text or provide login credentials over the phone. We talk about this so regularly, Bill. Nowadays, the more sophisticated scammers pretend to be the ones who are trying to take an issue off your plate. So in this case, the tactic was, there is a scam that has impacted your account, and I can help you, but only if you work with me here. And in this case, there wasn't a scam at all, right? It was just the ploy was to get into the account and to access that $17,000. And thankfully, this person did their research. They looked up the account and saw that it was not actually connected to FNBO.
Well, and also again, too, they were able to avoid that, but then they did the right thing, and they reached out to you guys at Better Business Bureau, so that way we can have a conversation about it and let other people know that again, these are the types of things that do happen. It's not just in the big cities on either coast. It happens here in the middle part of the country too, right here in Nebraska.
Yeah, and it's how many of us would react if someone told us, "Hey, $17,000 of your money is going to an account. Do you know that?" Of course, a lot of us would immediately want to step in and remedy that situation. So that's a really useful tactic from a scammer's perspective, to dangle, "Hey, there's an anvil over your head, and I can, make sure that you are kept safe, but only if you work with me here." But that's a reminder that, again, knowing some of the foundational ways that banks, businesses of all kinds communicate with you is really, really important, right? This person knew that a bank wouldn't do this, but only after they were able to stop the interaction and do some research, right? So falling back on some of those foundational tips is really, really important.
And then last thing, Josh, we have a couple wins. We have a couple wins we want to talk about. Last time we talked, we were talking about it was a real website from a car dealer in Beatrice, and that real website had kind of gotten taken over after that business had closed down, but had been taken over by scammers, and it was still up. We actually looked at it last time that we talked, but we have been able to get that website taken down. Is that correct?
It is truly. I recall us having the conversation, combing through the website, kind of picking out some of the things that maybe you should be looking at if you are frequenting a website that maybe has some red flags. And in this case, the website was taken down some 48 hours after our conversation, which is
Nice.
incredible. That's fantastic turnaround time, and a reminder that actually speaking up does bring about some resolution. Right. We also heard from the Beatrice Police Department. They're investigating the matter. All of this points in a proper solution and proper recourse for the victim in question. So this is a good thing. There was another site that involved fake machinery. They claimed a fake address in Salina, Kansas. Very similar situation. We brought this forward to the news media in that market, and that website was also taken down within 48 hours. So again, we hear a lot of reasons why people don't want to report their experience, and certainly incredibly sensitive to some of the shame and some of the feelings associated with those losses and those experiences. But if fatalism is one of those reasons, if you feeling like nothing good is going to come from this report is one of those reasons, I think that these signs point directly in the opposite direction, which is when you speak up and you bring it into the light, that something good does come out of something that is overwhelmingly negative at its core. And who knows, maybe that's a handful of people, maybe it's just one who doesn't need to experience that anymore because the sites have been taken down.
Yeah, sunlight is always the best disinfectant, Josh. So again, anytime anyone can come forward and, again, it may seem like a small thing. It's one or two websites, but like you said, if that's going to prevent one person from potentially losing tens of thousands of dollars, I bet you that one person would tell you it was worth it. That whoever it was came forward. So good things to celebrate. Again, I always like to hear that good news. As we know, though, it's a constant battle. We got to keep our shield up and kind of keep moving forward. So anything else top of mind for you guys over at BBB? I know, again, we talked at the very beginning here, obviously big shopping season's right around the corner. And so I'm sure it's the scammers probably biggest time of the year as well.
Yeah, if you haven't heard of that business before, please do your research. I can promise you'll save yourself a lot of headache by just even having a general sense for whether or not that company is real, whether that company's got infrastructure, whether they've got a proven track record. None of us want to be the guinea pig. So don't allow yourself to be, right? Make sure that they've got a proven track record. Make sure that they have real customer reviews, that they have a bbb.org landing page. Make sure you're working with a company that is deserving of your business. And for all of those of you out there who are purchasing a costume, make sure that you know exactly what that return policy looks like, because November 1st comes very quickly for a lot of people, seemingly every year. And if you have any designs on rewinding the clock or returning any of the materials that you're purchasing from your Halloween outfit, I can promise you that will be a lot more complicated than it might seem on the surface. So know that going in.
Yeah, I think those Spirit Halloween stores and a lot of the pop-up stores, they're not even open on November 1st. So, you got to be careful with that. So, but Spirit Halloween's great. They have great costumes and great stuff. So, and I think last time I was in there, I think they were pretty like, hey, we're not taking any returns. So don't even try. Don't even try and bring it back. So, all right. Well, Josh, appreciate your time as always. I hope you have a good Halloween. I hope you can approximate the proper amount of candy for the Planos household.
I'll let you know. Thank you, Bill.
All right. Again, that was Josh Planos with the Better Business Bureau. We always appreciate his time and insight. Again, a couple things to kind of talk about today with that crypto kiosk ordinance in front of the Lincoln City Council. And again, a couple local scams that we're watching out for as well. And then a couple wins, too, as well. So appreciate everyone for tuning in and watching. As always, keep it tuned to 1011, both on air and online, for all of your latest news, weather, and sports. Until next time, hope everyone has a nice Monday.
1011 News is everywhere. Download our